Hi there. This is Bryce Rankins, and you're listening to episode 27.4 of Sneaky Geek. Celebration went to Monday.
Yeah, which
unusual for a convention of any sort, really.
Yeah. But one of the big draws for Monday was the 20th anniversary of Phantom Menace panel.
Which is cool because on Friday, the 20th anniversary of Star Wars Lego, which was largely involved with Star Wars Phantom Menace as well.
Yeah.
Like some of the first people to even know about pod racers and stuff.
Yeah. That game's a lot of fun. The Lego Star Wars games?
Oh, I love those
I'm
games.
just talking about the Lego
set.
Oh, yeah.
They actually talked about both in that panel.
Yeah.
That's a different podcast, and they've already aired it. So.
Yeah. But yeah, so we got...
You don't get to be involved in that conversation, Ameer.
Sorry.
Talk more about the Phantom Menace. Did you like it?
I was listening to that podcast earlier when I called you on the phone, and I was in the car, and then I hear your voice like through the podcast, and I hung up, and I was like, wait, did I hang up? Or am I still talking to him?
Is he just talking about Star Wars now? No, Brian's there. Okay. Yeah. Wait, is Brian there?
Yeah. He might be near Brian right now. Wow, my speakers sound really good.
Our audio is good, thanks to the magic of Adobe Audition.
Please look it up, Adobe.
Yeah, because you're really expensive. The anniversary was there, and so they brought out first Ian McDermott and Ray Park.
No, they brought out ILM people first.
You're right. Oh, because they did that. Yeah, because they took them off and then they brought them out.
Yeah, so for the first half of it, probably about the first third, they brought out 4 of the OG ILM people that worked on Phantom Menace, and a lot of them actually, they're all still working at the company, and one actually created Photoshop, and...
Yeah, one of them's the creator of Photoshop, which is another great program available to you from Adobe.
You guys, this is off subject, but do you want to know the very first Photoshop picture?
Yes.
Abraham Lincoln.
Really?
Yep. That very famous picture of Abraham Lincoln. Where
okay, wait. You mean the first picture to use Adobe Photoshop, or the first
No,
picture
it's the first
edited?
Photoshop. I'm doing the quote finger thing.
Okay, so this is a podcast, and Ameer is using quotes. But anyway, air quotes.
Yeah, so it's that famous picture of Abraham Lincoln, kind of just, his presidential picture. Mm-hmm. That's not his body. That's some other guy. His face is photoshopped into that, or is cut into that.
Wild.
Yeah. So that's the very first recorded, edited photo.
My whole life is a lie.
Yeah. I learned that in school.
So ILM people.
Yeah, so we got 4 ILM people coming there talking about how just the different designs, how George Lucas helped them and taught them all sorts of stuff, film industry-wise, storytelling-wise.
For the record, George Lucas, his presence has been marked in almost every one of these panels as well. He came onto the set of Mandalorian.
Yeah.
They talked about how he was really because everybody gushes about Dave Filoni. He's like, guys, I would not be able to do what I do if I had not learned everything I learned from George Lucas.
Yeah.
He attributes so much of the way he handles things to...
It's almost like he created Star Wars.
Right?
But he also created, kind of the Star Wars method that, Dave Filoni follows. And it was very clear that, people love George Lucas.
Yeah. Which is great because when Disney bought out Star Wars... The next year was that celebration that was here in town that I went to, and he wasn't mentioned once.
Yeah.
They hushed him up so bad. It was kind of awkward.
Yeah.
Because it was very obvious that no one talked about it.
And no one say the G word.
Yeah. And it was just like, what is going on? Like, what the hell, Disney or Kathleen Kennedy? It totally is.
We wouldn't have Star Wars if it wasn't.
No,
we wouldn't
and
have so many movies if it wasn't.
So it was really nice watching all these panels and everybody name dropping them. And
I think at first Disney's plan was to be like, Star Wars is a Disney property. And then I think they realized that everyone knows and understands that, but they're not giving Disney the credit for doing it because they're not the ones running it.
Yeah.
And they didn't earn it.
No.
And so I think that's why those reins have been pulled back a little bit.
Well, then I think there's been so much Star Wars backlash the last couple of years with just Star Wars.
Yeah, it's probably safer to throw his name in there.
Yeah, and you know what? Yeah, and I think they finally realized that, the fans want him around because they know he's important, and he probably wouldn't have caused all this Star Wars fatigue.
No, he waited 20 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, in between each movie of the prequels, it was
Yeah.
Yeah,
two,
it was
3 years.
2 or 3 years. Yeah.
Honestly,
trying
I
to get
think,
everything out.
I think it's not quite just Star Wars fatigue. I think it's been... 'cause we've
Blockbuster.
talked about Star Wars. It's franchise fatigue.
Franchise, yeah.
We are so burnt out on movies that are part of a greater storyline.
Yeah. I mean, there's
becoming like a chore.
There's a lot of talk about, Marvel
Yeah.
superhero fatigue, or superhero fatigue in general, and that's kind of my thing with, like, I'm really behind on a lot of the
shows are on
TV shows.
DC.
Yeah.
DC has so many shows. I don't even know where I can start at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
I tried
I-
with Green Arrow and
I stopped watching the
Wow.
CW shows, and I'm
Yeah.
super behind on all the Marvel shows, and part of it's just I don't have a lot of time, but part of it too is just like there's so much, so I'm like, I don't...
I really want to start Black Lightning.
I talked about this on the Nerd Chronic one where we talked about on this other thing that was hanging out that I was doing. They
Shout out to those guys over at Nerd Chronic.
Yeah.
They have a cool podcast out of Burbank.
they're awesome.
They're nice guys. Actually, I met one of them at Comic-Con,
Yeah.
and we were just shooting the shit, and one of us had mentioned it while we're standing in line working in film, and we like bonded over it.
Yeah.
And then after a minute, we were like, wait, where do you live? And where are
Yeah.
you from? Do you know Ameer? And like, so then we realized, like, oh shit, like, that was the dude who came in and like saw us when we were eating pizza over
Yeah.
at the Gaslamp Corridor.
Small world.
At Dave's second favorite pizza place.
But yeah, we talked about how it's hard to sell something now without it being a superhero, like the Joker movie. It seems like a good movie, but you can't sell that without it being the Joker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
that
it's got to
fatigue,
be an
like,
existing IP,
or it's not gonna. Nobody's gonna watch it.
And I mean, we go to IP Fest every year. That's what Comic-Con is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went. There was a whole thing for Dark Tower because it's a series. We can run this. It makes multiple movies. Cool.
Yeah.
And they're not gonna go there. Like
No, yeah.
that's not gonna have a second film.
No, crashed
Yeah.
hard.
It didn't. Yeah. No idea if it was any good or not. I like
I heard
Matthew
that one
McConaughey,
was
but
pretty bad. I read the books. I love the books. There are a lot of people that I know that read the books were like, "Don't watch the movie."
well, I
It's
mean,
like,
it's if you have gold source material, it's
Yeah.
really really hard to live up to it unless you're a team of brothers who happens to have HBO money.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well, like Ready Player One. That one was a lot
dude,
different from the
Ready
book.
Player One was great.
I liked it.
It was so good, but Ready Player One was also it deviated,
Yeah.
and it deviated in ways it didn't have to.
Yeah.
But
And that one falls into it too. It's like, hey, look at all these video game
Yeah.
characters. Watch
yeah,
our movie.
no, it's IP
Yeah.
IP Fest all over
Yeah.
again
Yeah.
for sure.
It's literally
Fest
Comic Con the movie.
Yeah.
But which is a shame because it's a Steven Spielberg movie and didn't get Star Wars like dropped
Yeah.
in it,
What do you mean?
like it should have.
Oh, there's little sprinkles here and there.
Sprinkles here and there.
Couple
but,
stormtroopers,
the
a
Falcon
TIE
was
fighter
supposed to
flew
fly
over.
through.
Yeah.
The Falcon was supposed to fly through.
Oh.
Yeah, he's supposed to
And-
have the Falcon.
That's what he's that's his like vehicle
Yeah.
totem thingy.
They put the Spaceball ship. Close enough.
No, yeah, well, no, close. But like George Lucas and Steven Spielberg are they're BFFs.
Best friends, yeah.
Like that's how this happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both of their careers really started because of each other.
Yeah.
And what ILM like was able to survive past Star Wars because another director was like, no, I'm using ILM.
Yeah.
The same thing with Skywalker sound. Like
Yeah.
George Lucas said, sound is 50% of your movie experience. Like it has to be good. And
Yeah.
it can ruin a movie, it can ruin a game.
Yeah.
Silent Hill 4, great game. Terrible sound design.
Yeah.
One of the noises you get when you hit a nurse is a burping sound. Like it's horrible. A lot of stock sounds, a lot of like weird noise like that. The only thing that they ever throw in is the Wilhelm scream, and typically they're able to hide it, which I would prefer people do rather than just
Blast it
stick
out.
it in there every single time, super loud. I hate the Wilhelm scream. It always takes me out of the movie.
I love it.
But when I'm like, wait, did they just throw that in there? For me, if they want to really impress me, I want to hear somebody scream in the background, my leg! Or my cabbages! Anyway, back to episode
Back to
one
episode
because
one,
it's getting real late and I want to go to bed.
Yeah, so after they talked to the 4 ILM people, they brought out Ray Park, and they brought out Ian McDermott, Darth Maul, and Darth Sidious.
Yep.
It was cool. They just interviewed those two back and forth.
Hey, did you know that Ian McDermott didn't know he was going to play Sidious?
Yeah.
Like,
He knew he was
thought
gonna play
he was going to
Palpatine.
play young Palpatine, but he didn't know that he was actually going to also be the one playing Sidious until, like, the day.
The day that they started filming, they're like, oh, no, you're going to wardrobe for this character. And he's like, wait, Oh!
Which is where we heard one of the coolest directing notes. Mm-hmm. You explain it better than I do.
Yeah, so basically George Lucas told him, like, these two characters are the same person, but different characters, but you need to look at it as if one of them is the contact lens for the other one.
Yeah, so when you're playing Palpatine, Senator Palpatine, or Chancellor Palpatine, or what other character, Palpatine, you are wearing Palpatine contact lenses, but you're still Sidious.
Sidious.
Yeah.
And when you're playing Sidious, you know that you are Sidious, and but you're looking through from Palpatine
Yeah.
as Sidious, looking through Sidious contact lenses. So, like, that way he could always maintain that he was keeping a facade.
Yeah.
Because, I'll tell you this from experience, one of the hardest things to do in acting is to lie. Because you're already lying.
Yeah.
Everything you're doing is a lie, philosophically speaking. So, to come at it and say lines like, I spent an entire day of the acting workshop for the textbook stuff I was working on last year. I spent a whole day on lying.
Yeah.
Like, of a workshop, like multiple hours of my life dedicated on how to pretend to lie, because you have to know that you're telling a truth.
Yeah.
You know, and you have to know that there is a truth, you know, underneath it. And there's so many layers to it. So to play two people who are both hiding who they are, because, you know, because as Sidious, he had to hide from those terrible racist puppets known as the Trade Federation.
Yeah.
Neimoidians.
Yeah, the Neimoidians. He had to hide from the Neimoidians that he's also part of the planet that they're about to screw over.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he's hiding from the planet, you know, that he's also, you know, orchestrating the entire destruction of it.
Same thing with Clone Wars.
Yeah.
He's meeting the Separatists and
I don't think people give enough credit for that, but like, Ian McDiarmid's the guy.
Man.
Yeah.
He's the guy. He was the guy in Rebels, which they didn't really mention, which was a bummer. But
Yeah.
you know, one time, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, like Ray Park came out looking like a badass. And,
Dude, Ray Park is so beef.
yeah.
He's like, what, 40? He's 42.
He's 42, so he was 20.
He was 22
20
years
22
old.
when he did the movie.
Yeah, Ahmed Best was 20.
Yeah.
And Ray Park was 22.
Yeah.
They were kids.
Yeah. And we found out that, I mean, found out, but just kind of realized because he mentioned it, Ian McDiarmid, he was 37 when he originally played the Emperor.
Yeah.
And that old man makeup that looks amazing.
It's timeless.
Yeah.
Yeah. He is
Which
37.
cannot be said for the Revenge of the Sith old man makeup.
I don't know what the hell happened
I
there.
love how when he gets older, he plays a younger version of himself.
Yeah. And it works amazingly.
Yeah.
And now he's just old playing old.
Again, works amazingly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he was so cool and just very humbled and like...
Yeah, real sweet.
Yeah.
And they have this really cool relationship together because they met, I think, the day that they shot.
Started filming.
They had done all the rehearsals individually, and they met when they had their little like walking scene. Because Ray Park didn't say the lines.
No.
Yeah.
But he would have had to say them with his mouth.
Yeah.
So they had to do a sync, you know.
Yeah.
Little known, Ray Park didn't do the voice for Darth Maul.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
He probably said it out loud.
Oh, I'm sure
Right,
you
yeah,
have
and they
to.
dubbed
Otherwise,
it
you don't
over,
have
yeah.
the same. It will work. You can't just lip sync.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, that was cool. So they took them off, and then they brought out Ahmed Best and Anthony Daniels. And
Anthony Daniels.
Yeah.
hamming it up as usual.
I
Amazing.
have never realized how much I love that man until this celebration.
He's such a smart ass too,
Yeah, I know.
and like full of sass.
Yeah, no, he was
He's
great
real life
in the.
C-3PO. Literally.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was great in
Episode 9
the
panel?
episode 9 panel.
Yeah.
Alan Tudyk's stories about him are
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, and they interviewed him on the Star Wars show too, and I missed that. I need to go look it up again.
Yeah,
check
it's
it
just-
out.
He's hilarious.
Yeah.
And he was talking about the whole like being, C-3PO being created by Anakin Skywalker and like not knowing really his own origin story.
Yeah.
And his relation to R2 and how he like what his role is as a character. The fact that he didn't have to wear the suit this time, which was really nice. He only had to be the voice.
Yeah.
At least in the first.
Or in
Yeah.
Phantom Menace.
In Phantom Menace.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because in Phantom Menace he wasn't completed yet, so there's a couple cool shots of a guy in a green suit behind him, kind of controlling this wobbly looking
the puppet.
3PO puppet, and it was really cool. Looking.
Yeah, it's really cool
I forgot about that.
how much 3PO moves like Anthony Daniels despite him being a puppet.
Yeah.
Like he does
And Anthony
have
Daniels
a little bit more
mentioned-
wobbliness to
Yeah.
him, but he doesn't.
Yeah,
really
and Anthony
well.
Daniels mentioned like how weird it was seeing somebody else move like him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, super wild. Just
Yeah.
and just a genuinely sweet guy. Loves what he does. I mean,
Yeah.
we've told this story like 4 times on this podcast, but Brian's met
Kind of.
Anthony Daniels,
Yeah.
sort
Yeah.
of.
Yeah, I was working Star Wars Celebration, and we were doing crowd control stuff, and it was...
Yeah, I say met. I mean,
Yes,
worked
it
with.
was... yeah, basically. And I can't remember which... We were downstairs in the big old holding pen. It might have been for the episode 7 panel. The night before, because people camped out.
Yeah.
Yeah, just doing crowd control, and everybody's really loud anyway, so no one's really cheering, and all of a sudden, like... Here are a couple people, and I look over, and oh, okay, they're just whatever. And then all of a sudden I feel his hand on my shoulder, and I look over, and it's Anthony Daniels. And he's like, oh, yeah, like,
It's a little
crews...
more than just,
Yeah.
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 he came by.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, yeah, like, our great crew is, doing a great job. How's everybody else doing? Just hamming it up. I'm like, thanks, buddy.
Daniels touched
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great. Good times.
Have you washed that shoulder?
No,
Never.
it's not.
I wouldn't either.
Didn't you get a tattoo at that celebration?
Yes. Yeah, I got my Rebels tattoo with the,
You know what? Let's throw that up on the
Yeah.
on the old
That's pretty cool.
Instagram.
Yeah, I'll post this a little bit. Yeah, so at Star Wars conventions, they have the tattoo pavilion, which Disney was not happy with when they took over, but
course
it
not.
makes so much money and it's booked solid right off the bat. As soon as
Yeah.
it's announced, the artists are completely full schedule-wise.
Yeah.
So I got lucky when I got this one, but yeah, so I got my Rebels insignia with the Jedi in the negative space at the bottom, with the cool Rebel red and black.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, so now that Celebration's coming back next year, I have a full year to figure out what I want to get next. Yeah. Sorry, Mom.
I want one.
Yeah.
Hair.
No. You can shave it.
Yeah, then I gotta shave all the time.
No, you don't.
No. I don't shave on my tattoo.
Let's get on my face.
Nah, I don't have a tattoo. I just want to freak my mom out.
I was like, huh. But yeah, so then they brought everybody back out, and
Yeah, all of them together.
Warwick Davis was doing the panel too, and
Yeah, and
great
Warwick Davis
as
actually
usual.
talked about being, because he actually, fun fact,
He's two
Warwick
characters,
Davis played a different character than his character in Phantom Menace, which he kind of only got because he pestered George Lucas
Yeah.
to get
Yeah.
back in it again.
Yeah.
But he came to set and George was like, I can't have
Can't have you sitting around.
just sitting around doing nothing, man. You get, why don't you go to wardrobe, pick out some stuff, but get in the scene. So he crosses, but Ray Park also.
Yeah.
He's a Naboo guard in the firefight between the droids.
Yeah.
In
end of the
between,
movie.
in a cutaway before Maul shows up.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
But as his.
But it was
white
funny
self.
because it sounded like neither one of them knew that about each other. So they're like, well, I did the same thing.
I did that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that was a really cool moment between the cast members there.
neat extra stuff.
But it was
20
really
years
cool
later.
at the end. Warwick Davis.
Real
Oh,
quick.
yeah.
Ray Park gets pumped up to music
Oh,
like
God.
many of us do.
Yeah.
And as an actor, I totally respect it, but he does it with Prodigy.
Yeah.
And, I hear Prodigy, I'm assuming I'm going to get something a little heavy. It is the most British 90s house
Uh-huh.
I have ever heard. Like, it
Yeah.
is so... The only thing close to it that I've ever listened to intentionally was Chumbawamba. Like,
Oh God.
Uh-huh.
I love Chumbawamba.
He does.
But I do. But, it is so, British house. It's like, a five-star to his Maul's
We-
theme. I'm like, let's listen to it.
Yeah, we
It's
stopped
so-
it, we pulled it up, and we're like, oh, God. This is so 90s. I love it, but I hate
I love it, but
Ooh. Yeah.
Anyway, so end of it.
So the end of
Island
it...
comes back out.
Yeah, they bring everybody else out, and Warwick Davis has these little cue cards of just things that the actors have done and the big accomplishments they've done for the movie, but
For the
also
movie, for the franchise,
for the franchise,
themselves.
and then for the film industry itself. So Ahmed Best got recognized for being basically the first motion captured.
Yeah, he's
actor.
like a pioneer
Yeah.
of mocap
Yeah.
work.
And had to figure all this stuff out.
So half the reason he has not prosthetic, but covered arms with makeup and the prosthetic hands
Yeah.
and Jar Jar's face on top.
'Cause they didn't know if it was gonna
they
work.
weren't sure if it was going to work.
Yeah.
So that was the backup.
Their
wow.
backup plan was we'll figure out a way to edit out Ahmed's face.
Yeah.
Because we don't know, because he didn't even have his ears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His head didn't have his ears, but you start looking and it's they were running a risk
Yeah.
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
his work.
Yeah. Yeah. So they did stuff with the ILM people and Ahmed Best, and Anthony Daniels was the last. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, Warwick Davis was like, And that's it. That's everybody. And Anthony Daniels was like, Anthony Daniels got up and walked up.
Yeah. But like super like
Dramatic.
Oh, yeah.
And typical
Daniels
Anthony.
style.
Hamming it.
Yeah.
It was a bummer, though.
Yeah, the only thing I didn't like about it was no one said anything about Warwick Davis. He's been in every single Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
He's been in the TV shows, and he's been multiple characters, and...
Yeah, he's wicked.
But
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's this, like... I don't know if he's the first best Ewok. He might be the first best Ewok.
Yeah. But, no, so that was the only thing, like, oh, someone should have, like... had
He's single-handedly responsible for the success of the rebellion.
Yeah.
He is.
But
Ewoks were integral. Integral to the destruction of that dish.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was the Phantom Menace panel. We also had a Resistance panel, apparently, but
We haven't finished Resistance yet, so...
I haven't either.
we were like...
I've seen like the first 2 episodes.
That being
5, 6
said, there's a
episodes.
character in Resistance named Griff who wears a Stormtrooper pilot helmet with a skull painted on the front of it, and he has like a modified... His ship is super badass, but
Yeah.
he's one of like the main badass ace pilots in the show, and he's got a Lego set, and it is sick.
Ooh.
Oh my god, it is
I was
so
getting pictures
cool.
the other day.
Yeah, I was at this... Because there's also Resistance action figures now, which is neat.
Yeah.
But yeah, Resistance is a cool show. It's got
I like
Turk.
it.
It's all right, yeah. Turk, yeah.
It's one of those shows that we turn on, and every other episode or so, we're like not entirely paying attention to it.
Yeah.
Or into it. There's some definite filler episodes.
And there have been
like,
episodes that I really
what
loved
is
that
this?
Brian was like, man, and I was like, I love that episode.
Yeah.
And he
And
was
they're
like,
super
"Yeah,
short
it was cool."
episodes, aren't they?
No, 22
No,
minutes.
yeah.
Typical.
Yeah.
But there's also episodes that are like, oh, that was so cool.
It's
Yeah.
no Rebels.
No.
It's not right.
It's cool when Phasma shows up.
Yeah.
It's cool when Poe shows up. We still don't understand why Poe is constantly just leaving BB-8 behind.
Yeah, BB-8's a...
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, but...
Always.
The main character is kind of annoying, but there's some cool, like,
I don't
behind-the-scenes
actually hate him.
stuff. I'm growing
I
to
like
him.
Kaz. I
Yeah.
really like Kaz's on the spectrum friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of funny there. And then Donald Faison, who plays Turk in Scrubs, plays a Rodian.
Who's basically just
Who's
Turk
basically
and
Turk in
Rodan.
space.
Yeah.
I love it.
Turk in space.
I'm
I
rewatching Scrubs right now for the 700th time.
I really like the girl, the daughter of the guy who
yeah.
runs the station.
Yeah.
The one who's like kind of obsessive about her VR.
Yeah.
yeah.
But like, yeah, we're just getting to the point where like the pirate in the place is.
Yeah. Because we have 5 episodes left, I think.
Yeah, we're close.
Yeah.
We'll watch it eventually.
Yeah. But yeah, so they
A lot
apparently
to go.
they talked about season 2, and I think I don't know if they released a trailer or some footage. Season 2 is coming, which is cool.
That's good. That's good. Maybe like, and I predicted when this show first got announced that we're probably going to be annoyed because it's going to be a little bit too kitschy and a little bit too kiddie.
Yeah.
And it's
kids
going
in
to
some,
find
too.
itself, it'll find its footing a little higher maturity wise towards season 2 or 3 once they can afford to
Yeah.
do that sort of thing. Because that's
Yeah.
what they did with Rebels.
Yeah.
But it's not getting there like Rebels did. Rebels
no.
was like, oh, don't worry.
Yeah.
Because the Inquisitor shows up and you're like,
Real early
this
on.
is a little terrifying.
Yeah.
You know, whereas this, it's, Phasma shows up.
Yeah, the
and-
First Order is still kind of forming, and they're still kind
Yeah.
of behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And they're not. In fact, that's half the reason for the show is the Poe sends the main character to like, hey, go to this pirate or not pirate station, but this like outpost that's kind of on the edge of known space, and we're because there's rumblings about First Order
using this as some
using
sort
this-
of station.
Yeah, we don't know what's going on. Find out information for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is probably like I think it's supposed to be like 5 or 6 years before
It's got to be after
Force
Bloodlines.
Awakens. Oh yeah, so it's after
Because we
Bloodlines.
know that because Leia knows and has formed with the Resistance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Resistance is already
Leia
formed,
knows that the
obviously.
New Order is building,
Yeah.
which is what we find out in Star Wars.
Yeah, so it's
Bloodlines.
probably like 3 or 4 years before Force Awakens.
Yeah, I gotta say, is there any other media that's taken place pre Force Awakens and post Jakku?
Phasma.
The Phasma book?
Yeah.
Phasma, Before the Awakening, and Bloodline. Yeah?
Also, I know I've talked about it on here before. Lost Stars has that last chapter where we don't exactly know what our snooty British man is trying to figure out. He references a place that is referenced in Aftermath,
Oh.
which is a book I haven't read yet, but I think I have to add to the list because just too much carryover is happening from
Yeah.
the book series.
Yeah, yeah,
Does
there should be
Aftermath
more.
get into the pre-Force Awakens but post-Bloodline stuff?
Aftermath.
No, because that happens right after Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
Like the last book in that trilogy is Battle of Jakku.
Okay, because I know Sloane is in there.
Yes, Sloane's in there. She's also in
It was her first
Kanan?
appearance is in A
in
New
one
Dawn.
of the Kanan books. Oh yeah, first visual appearance is in, but yeah, she's in A New Dawn,
Yeah.
and she carries over into Aftermath. she's a cool character. Hope she shows up later with stuff. But anyways,
All right.
yeah.
It's
So
late.
that was the Star Wars celebration, and then we got the great news that they're coming back to Anaheim next year.
Yeah.
We don't have
going.
specific dates yet, but yeah, that's happening.
That's happening.
And I'm probably getting a new tattoo because duh.
Sorry, man.
I missed out last time, so I gotta go this time.
Yeah.
For sure. I was not in the con life at that point.
Me either.
My first con was Anime Expo, I suppose. But
Yeah.
So,
That was
Ameer,
it.
what are you reading? What are you watching? What are you working on?
Am
What
I
are you
reading?
doing?
What am I watching? I am watching Game of Thrones.
We're all watching.
Yeah.
Umbrella Academy is really good. Watch that.
Yeah,
I'm still-
I haven't even started.
I'm at like halfway through episode 2. I've just been so busy lately.
Did you read Umbrella Academy?
No, I started reading it after I watched the show.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna be one of them too.
I
Oh,
mean,
and I'm
bad.
finally
That's
catching
like-
up on Saga.
are you?
Finally.
I've heard
That comic's
really good
so
things about
good,
Saga.
man.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Is that Vaughn that's writing that?
Yep.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And they're making a show.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very excited for a lot of the more lesser known things that are getting their
Yeah.
own shows right now. Like they used to be pretty common. Like we could throw this into a thing. No one's gonna be too upset. But then once they figured out the formula on how to actually convert something,
Yeah.
now they can start doing that a little bit better.
Yeah.
Like American Gods and
that show's pretty good, too.
Angels and Demons. Good Omens.
Yeah.
Excited for that one.
I am excited for Good Omens. I'm not entirely sure I'm sold 100% on the actor's makeup, but I'm gonna probably love it anyway because I love both of them.
Mm-hmm.
What are you, Brian?
Keeping up with the Marvel War of the Realms books going on right now.
Dude,
Just started.
that Punisher book this week was sick.
That's next. I read all the tie-in issues so far except for that one. I'm gonna read that tomorrow.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
But yeah, just those and the Guardians of the Galaxy book has been fan-freaking-tastic.
Oh yeah, you got Banner
I heard
Ray
that
Bell
one's
and
really
Moondragon.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
kind of Mac. You'll read it. But yeah, Groot talks again,
Yeah.
finally.
Yeah, Groot
Um,
hasn't talked since before Annihilation Conquest.
yeah.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. And he's great, yeah. Back
He's
then he
as
was in-
much of an asshole as he was when he was.
Yeah.
Something about only being able to say "I am Groot" kind of humbled him as a character,
Yeah.
but apparently now that he's got his mouth back,
yeah,
he's a dick again.
Yeah.
He's a little bit of a dick, but he's a leader, so he's kind of taking that into
Does he
account.
still have the mohawk?
Yeah, so in fact, yeah, because Gamora leaves for a little bit, and they finally find each other, and she's like, "I dig the punk look." Yeah, so he has like spikes.
And he's really bitter about Rocket.
Yeah, they haven't gotten to why Rocket left the group and why everybody's pissed off at him.
Yeah, like he's like, we don't talk about Rocket.
Yeah, Peter Quill said that. Yeah, but Peter Quill kind of stepped down as the leader of the Guardians. I mean, the Guardians kind of broke up, and then they sort of like accidentally got back together with a few different members, and then Groot just took over as leader because no one else would do it. And
he can actually explain what he means now.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
That's kind of what I've been reading. What do you got going on?
I've been watching Cloak and Dagger
Oh,
season
I
2.
love that show.
Dude, it is so good.
It's good, right?
damn!
I've been trying to tell people how good that show
I need to
is.
finish season
Well,
one.
because season
Yeah.
1's first like 4 episodes,
Yeah.
they're not bad, but like you're like, where are we going?
And that's what was my problem.
As soon as they stop like doing the power exploration, which is really cool and
Yeah.
it provides a great setup,
Yeah.
and it's necessary, but as soon as we start going into like what else happened with the Roxxon explosion,
Yeah.
like that episode where they're in the loop,
Yeah.
dude.
The best
And so-
thing about that show is that it doesn't just focus on their powers; it focuses on them as characters.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Which is really cool because I
And
always
it's-
liked Cloak and Dagger.
Runaways did something similar, which I think I'm like 3 episodes into season 2.
I'm on episode 5. I found out
Oh,
last
okay.
night because
Yeah.
it played afterwards on my TV. But
nice.
I'm doing that, and then I'm reading Meet the Skrulls, which is basically the Americans but with Skrulls and they're spies. But are they good spies?
The
I don't know.
Americans,
Find out.
the FX show.
Yeah. And then
yeah.
so that's Meet the Skrulls. I assume it's a limited run. God, I hope it's a
Yeah.
limited run.
And it's like five issues.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be 5 or 6, but that's good. And then I'm reading The Invaders, which has the original Invaders team with like Namor and Cap and Winter Soldier and I think
The original
the
Human
OG
Torch.
Human Torch is there, and then there's like one other Human Soldier. They're not all together back as a team, but a couple of them are because Namor is potentially gonna blow up America
Yeah, okay.
because he's
He's pissed off and evil.
well, they've started explaining why he's
Kind of.
such a jerk.
Yeah.
And it's not 100% his fault, which is
okay.
really cool. But also, it's partially because he's kind of just an asshole.
Yeah.
And then I've started reading a little bit of Winter Soldier, And then I just picked up E.K. Johnston's Queen Shadow.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I started the audiobook.
And, yeah, you're reading the audiobook. I've got the actual physical copy because I want to be supportive of my buddy E.K., who we interviewed. And we'll get that podcast about her thing after we read the book.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I started doing the audiobook, and then one of my favorite bands has a new album out, so I've just been listening to music for a little while, but yeah, I'll go back to it. I'm got a little road trip coming up this weekend, so I'm sure I'll get through a big chunk of that book.
Yeah, I actually also have a road trip to the same exact location. This is going to really suck that I have to waste this gas, that we can't just split it, but, like, we need cars.
Yeah, we got different things going on.
I took my road trip coming here. So
Yeah.
Well,
I've been reading the X-Men book, which has been one of the best books I've read in the last couple of years.
Wow.
But also...
Who's writing it?
Matt Rosenberg.
Okay, cool.
Freaking solid book.
Excellent writer, I can give you that. So.
Yeah, he's done some good stuff. But also, the Dark Phoenix movie's coming out next month in June. Wait, it's almost next month.
Yeah, it's almost next
in June, and the last final trailer was released yesterday, and it looks kind of cool. I'm a little apprehensive about it, but like growing up, I was way more of an X-Men fan than an Avengers fan, so like that's always got a special place in my heart. So
same here.
I'm stoked for a non-Bryan Singer X-Men movie. It's about damn time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, First Class kind of wasn't.
First Class and Days of Future Past are probably the two best X-Men movies.
Oh yeah.
I like X-Men. I like X2, X-Men United. I actually really enjoy The Last Stand. I'm sorry, but I mean, don't get me wrong, it ain't perfect, but it's not.
It came out.
We've had worse.
So, yeah.
But yeah, I was not a huge fan of Apocalypse at all.
No.
And
I like that movie. I didn't like him though.
Poe Dameron and Clooney cosplay.
Yeah.
And what's his name? Ivanu.
Yeah,
Ivanus, yeah.
Dude,
he just wasn't menacing.
Speaking of Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Have you
just
seen
watched
the
the new
Power
movie?
Ranger movie?
Yeah, the new one was great.
Yeah.
Dude,
I
shit's
love
awesome.
that.
It was dark.
Yeah.
Like,
but it was
and
funny.
Elizabeth Banks is fantastic.
She's
I
great.
wasn't in love with the climax of the film. I felt like they could have handled it a little bit better.
Yeah.
I did like that they kept it small town because that's what Power Rangers is, and I love that they played the Power Rangers theme song.
That was so awesome.
Yeah.
But Bill Hader was fantastic.
Uh-huh.
Bryan Cranston as Zordon.
Yeah.
And the Zordon, like what his actual motivations are,
what his
being
background
brought in,
and stuff?
with-
And how he
and
was
what
the
his
original
plan
Red
was.
Ranger was pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and like his
cool.
plan, and like I knew that it wasn't gonna go that way when the dock scene happened.
Yeah.
But it's still
It was
like,
great.
are we really going there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a little scared.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like, you know, and going a little bit further than just like, yeah, I'm kind of a dork. Like, no, the Black Ranger's on the spectrum.
On the spectrum, yeah.
You know, and yeah, it was right. Wait, see the Black Ranger? See the Blue Ranger?
Wait, Blue?
He was the Blue
Is it
Ranger.
Billy?
It was Billy.
It was Billy.
Black
Yeah,
guy.
Blue Ranger. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't the Black. We didn't have a black guy as the Black Ranger
Yeah.
and a Nation Lady as the Yellow
Yeah.
Ranger this time.
Weird.
Whew, thank God.
Yeah.
Talk to
Also, guys, I think I'm in love with the Pink Ranger.
You mean Jasmine from Aladdin?
Jasmine from
Yeah.
Aladdin.
Yes.
I didn't care about Aladdin much. I wanted to see it mostly just to like defiantly support Will Smith because I
Yeah.
love him.
Me too.
Yeah.
But like, I have to go see Aladdin.
Yeah, because she's in it.
I'm in love with it.
I gotta see it because Aladdin's my cousin. So
I was like, wait, what? No.
for those of you guys that can't see me, I'm an Arab guy.
Yes,
That's where the Aladdin joke came from.
yeah, no, she's also a great actress, but like,
Yeah, she's a really good
like
actress.
every time she came on the screen, I was like, I have a crush on this girl. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I'm nervous.
Yeah.
Like,
That movie's
this is
so weird
weird.
because it plays up the whole. Because I remember watching the movie and I was like, man, this movie's kind of dumb. And then I went home and watched like the old Power Rangers movies or TV shows.
Yeah.
I was like,
They
damn,
played
they're
it
dumb
up.
too.
Yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
was like,
And they knew it, and they played it up, and like that's
No,
why
I
I
haven't
enjoyed it
seen
so
a
much.
Power Ranger
Yeah.
movie this like respectful of dumb Power Rangers since the Power Rangers.
The original
Power
The OG
With
classic. With Ivan.
Yes.
Bring it back around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the new design of the putties was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so good. And then I have officially gotten through all the Transformers movies.
Oh, yeah.
God.
We're
And I
gonna.
just got Transformers Fall of Cybertron for PlayStation
That
because
game's
it's
awesome.
super
Yeah.
cheap.
We'll be doing a little Transformers podcast because obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last night was the last time I'm ever watching that movie.
You know, the last night
was-
I liked.
I
God,
didn't hate it.
Oh man,
I did not
that
like
movie was bad.
the
fourth one?
The fourth
The first
one.
Marky Mark one?
Transformers and Marky Mark 1.
Oh yeah,
Hated it. I was
that
so
was-
mad. I didn't like that one.
That one was pretty bad.
I enjoyed the fights at the end and stuff. That was cool.
Yeah.
But like, you know what? There was just one aspect to it. I couldn't stand Marky Mark's daughter or her Irish boyfriend.
Ugh.
They made no sense.
There was such hateable
They're
characters
pointless.
too.
Yeah.
They were just crappy characters.
Yeah.
But I like Marky Mark, and I especially liked him in the second one. I like.
Yeah, he was,
Yeah.
We really
good.
enjoyed the last night a lot,
Yeah.
actually.
We got done watching. We're like, that was. What? I liked it.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't great,
Yeah.
but it wasn't Transformers 1, and it wasn't Transformers Revenge of the Fallen.
I just hated on the last night everything he said. Like Optimus Prime, all he says in that movie is "I am Optimus Prime." He says that like 7 times.
Well, yeah.
I
all he
am
says.
Optimus Prime.
Yeah. He
And
says it. He says it like in all the movies like that though.
But
you know
I
what bugs me?
loved the end of that movie.
Yeah, the end was pretty cool.
When she comes out,
Yeah.
and she's a human, sort of, and she's like, he doesn't like being touched.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? Unicron. And you're
it's
like,
Unicron.
why didn't I
Yeah.
even think that Unicron would be the name of an actual Transformer?
Yeah.
What bugs me is none of the movies he never says Transformers roll out. He hasn't said it in any of the
Yeah.
movies.
I thought he.
I thought in the first
No,
one he
he-
says transform and roll out.
No, he
He's
doesn't.
Autobots roll out.
Autobots
He says it.
transform
He says it like
and
2 or
roll
3
out.
times
I don't
throughout the
think so.
movies. Yeah.
Are you sure?
Uh-huh.
I need to go back
Yeah.
and watch them.
Because each time I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did.
Yeah. So, anyways, we'll be going more in depth on that later on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, loved them and loved Power Rangers.
And I love
like
Star
Power
Wars.
And I love Star Wars.
I love Star Wars,
I'm
too.
so excited for all the Star Wars things. I still need to beat Battlefront 2,
Yeah.
but it's been great. Just got to Lando Calrissian's little mission there. He's acting.
Sweet.
He's a cool dude. He says, "I know you got you. I
Lando's
gotta really.
Calrissian.
I know you have a bad feeling about this."
Yeah. And the comics have been great too.
Yeah, comics have been good. Books are good.
And then, yeah, and it sounds like finally the books and the movies are starting to, quality-wise, be better.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Dude, read the first 3 pages of Queen Shadow and tell me you aren't like down to clown with whatever is going on in that book.
Yeah.
Like it's all of the handmaidens and they're prepping because the Trade Federation has just landed the droid ships.
Ooh.
And they're prepping Sabe, I think her name is, to be Queen Amidala to go walk out and meet them. And they're all like her ornate dresses are like bulletproof. And they're not
Yeah.
just her handmaidens, even though that's what she refers to them as in the film. They're also her bodyguards.
bodyguards.
Yeah.
So they're all like trained, which explains why Padme was such a badass in Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
Because she also had to be
go through
a
training.
bodyguard
Yeah.
for herself.
Basically, yeah.
Makes sense.
And they all
Bait and
and
switch.
even with like as soon as they're putting the makeup on, the facade is on. They talk to Padme and refer to her as Padme. There's no
Amidala.
There's
Amidala. They refer to her as.
they refer to her as Padme.
When she's in her queen garb?
No, when Sabe goes into Amidala.
Oh, yeah.
Because in the room where they're getting dressed, just on the off chance that somebody walks in, they talk to Padme like, "Oh yeah, you're another handmaiden."
Yeah.
Like the facade is 100%.
Yeah.
That-
And then in the
This is a
audiobook,
podcast, and I'm putting a hand in front of my face.
Yeah.
in the audiobook, it's really cool because the voice actress, who's also the voice actress in the Clone Wars, which is really
For
cool.
Padme Amidala.
Yeah. She goes into Amidala straight up like monotone.
Monotone. I speak with a slightly more articulated accent.
Yeah,
you know?
and it's a really cool.
My
switch
least
in there.
favorite line in the entirety of all of Star Wars is, "I am not going to sit here and let things be deliberated in front of, well, my planet is enslaved or whatever, in front of a committee."
Yeah.
I hate how she says the word committee.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make any sense.
No.
But anyway, now there's like a justification for it. I'm like,
Yeah, it was really well
Yeah,
done.
makes
Yeah.
sense.
So, anyways, we'll get to that once we finish the book.
Yeah, because we have an interview with E.K. Johnston. She's super cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. She dropped some really cool Doctor Who references and geeked out with us. It was great.
So thanks for listening to last
Yeah.
episode and this episode, because we had to split it in 2 in the after portion of
Yeah.
this of our podcast. Guys. Thanks, Ameer, for being on here.
Yeah,
Welcome.
finally.
Thank you for having me.
Finally got you on
Yeah,
here.
you are welcome to
Thank
come
you.
back anytime.
Yeah,
awesome.
We do value your opinion, even if we crap all over it when it comes to movie taste.
Yeah, everybody does. It's okay.
Yeah.
Follow
How
me
did
on
you feel
Instagram.
about Batman vs Superman?
How do I feel about Batman vs Superman?
Yeah.
You know, the more I watch that movie, the less I like it.
Oh, okay.
But
Because you liked that movie when everyone was like, "Oh," and you.
well, what sold me
hated
for that movie
Last Jedi.
is Batman's warehouse scene. That just sold that. I can just
That
watch
was
that
just
scene
legit.
over and
That
over
was
and over.
yeah.
Oh, the
Yeah.
the intro thing?
Yeah.
Dude,
No,
that's the
yeah.
one that's like straight out of year one or whatever?
No, the one where he goes to the warehouse to save Martha.
Martha.
That,
Oh,
yeah.
when he like shows up and he's just like, I'm ready to kick your ass.
Yeah, and he just
And he
murders
does.
a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that scene just makes that whole movie for me. But
I actually really did enjoy that movie. It wasn't great, and I hated the Martha scene. Not even because of the Martha, but because he chose to do a blackout and fade back in.
yeah,
Just as a film choice, that's just shitty. Like, give us some character development, Mr. Snyder.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with the other Snyder, who is kicking ass in Batman right now. Scott Snyder?
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
really?
Writer.
I like Scott Snyder, but I'm so tired of him just throwing Batman in a mech suit every time it's convenient.
Well, the Batman Who Laughs is...
Oh yeah, that's good.
And Punisher Batman?
Yeah,
Like, the whole concept of what that universe is.
yeah,
That, like...
Yeah.
Like Bruce Wayne picked up the gun when he was a kid,
Yeah.
and that's what
That's what
defined
he
what
became.
Batman became.
yeah.
Yeah, and then weird stuff in Batman 69 this week though. Like
haven't read that one
Bane
yet.
was naked and with Thomas Wayne,
Again,
and
Bane was naked a few issues ago, and
yeah, he was
Tom King's
wrestling
Batman.
Thomas Wayne
Yeah,
in like Batman's subconscious or something. It was very weird stuff. But anyway, yeah, your weird taste in movies. We appreciate you.
love you guys. Follow me on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ameer is a fantastic artist.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Seriously, just solid work.
Good
And every
stuff.
time I see his work, it's improved more and more. So if you like really just solid, anatomically accurate, except for that one time he drew Thor.
It's a great drawing. I don't know what his problem is.
But if you want some really good shit, you should follow him on Instagram. It's Mirsky, right?
Mirsky _
Yeah.
because Mirsky was taken by somebody.
Dude, you know what you do? You keep stalking that dude. 'Cause
Until he
eventually
changes it, yeah.
He'll make a change, and you steal that. That's
Yeah.
how I got Bryce Rankin's out of Bryce Rankin's official.
Yeah.
So MEERSKI _.
I mean,
We'll post it
Yep.
too. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and
right.
be sure to follow us on our Instagram, which is Sneaky Geek Podcast, or find us on Facebook. We also have a Facebook page, which we post to pretty regularly. And listen to us on SoundCloud or on Instagram. You can find the link to the SoundCloud, or listen to us on pretty much every other podcast app except for Stitcher and Spotify because
Screw those guys.
screw those guys. Actually, we're also on a podcast. There's a podcast app that is now like with a search engine. So like when you get done with us, it'll take you to like related ones. And we're gonna get some more information on
Yeah,
that.
we're gonna
they,
dig
they reached
more
out to us. They sent us an email. We're like, hey,
That's
you're on
right.
this search thing. Come check us out. No, you don't need to sign up for it or anything like that. And they were really cool about it.
that's cool.
So
Yeah.
yeah, if you listen to us,
Go explore that too, because
yeah, and please interact with our page as much as you physically can because we really like it. We really love it. We love you guys. It's late. I'm gonna go to bed, and it's 1:50 in the morning.
yeah. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.